More people have arrived on the south coast of England in small boats today, undeterred by Wednesday's tragedy in which 27 migrants drowned as they tried to cross the English Channel from France. Britain and France have called for more coordinated international action to tackle human traffickers, with the UK offering to be part of joint patrols with France along its English Channel coast. The World Health Organization say Europe is back at the epicentre of the coronavirus crisis. Germany has now reached 100,000 COVID deaths, while France is recommending booster shots for all adults. And a new documentary with previously unseen footage from the Beatles has been released. It shows footage of the recording of the band's final studio album, Let It Be, which had been stored in a vault for 60 years.
We begin with new developments involving the crippled nuclear power plant in Fukushima. People in the fishing industry are worried after the government announced a scheme to release treated water from the plant into the ocean. Now, officials are planning to set up a fund of about $260 million to minimize any negative impact on the industry. Water has been accumulating at the plant since it was devastated by a massive earthquake and tsunami 10 years ago. The water, used to cool molten nuclear fuel, mixes with groundwater and contaminates it. The treatment process removes most of the radioactive material, but tritium remains. Government officials say the treated water will be diluted, so the concentration of the radioactive element is well below national and global standards. The officials maintain that the water released will not damage the environment, but they say the planned fund will be used to buy unsold marine products and to pay for storage. Another urgent issue is how to remove molten fuel from the 3 reactors that sustained meltdowns. NHK has learned that the operator plans to start a robot survey of the number 1 reactor from mid-January. Officials with the Tokyo Electric Power Company plan to send submersible robots into the facility to locate and examine the nuclear debris. They're also hoping to collect samples. Previous surveys of the other 2 reactors confirmed the presence of deposits believed to be fuel debris. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government has decided to allow groups of up to 8 people to visit certified restaurants and bars. The new coronavirus guidelines will be in effect between December 1st and January 16th. That includes the New Year holiday period. The group size will be doubled from the current limit of 4. Establishments must be certified as having anti-infection measures in place. The Metropolitan Government also plans to provide trip subsidies to support the tourism industry. It will provide 5,000 yen per overnight stay and 2,500 yen per day trip to local residents who travel within Tokyo. The central government will resume its Go To Travel subsidy program. An expert panel gave its latest assessment of the capital's infection situation and medical services on Thursday.
The panel concluded that medical services for COVID-19 patients can be provided stably without straining regular services.
Panel members lowered the medical service alert level to the lowest of 4 stages. The alert levels for the infection situation and medical services are both at the lowest stage for the first time. But experts stress the need to prepare in case winter brings another surge. Officials reported 119 new cases and 2 deaths across the country on Thursday. The number of seriously ill patients was unchanged from the day before at 58. Asian and European leaders kicked off a series of online meetings on Thursday. The summit of ASEM, or Asia-Europe meeting, has not been held since 2018 due to the pandemic, at a time when China and G7 members are emphasizing ties with Asian nations. The meeting includes 51 nations, along with representatives of ASEAN and the European Union. At the opening session, Prime Minister Hun Sen of Cambodia, which chairs this year's summit, said, ASEM has the responsibility to contribute to peace, stability, and prosperity in the world. The European Union stressed the strength of its relationships with ASEAN countries. European Council President Charles Michel said, "The pillar of all EU actions will remain our commitment to universal democratic rights and fundamental freedoms. We know many Asian partners share our view." The EU, in the Indo-Pacific strategy that it announced in September, expressed its plans to boost cooperation with ASEAN in various fields such as trade and security. The two-day summit is expected to discuss such topics as the situation in Myanmar and economic recovery in the aftermath of the pandemic. We turn now to the southern Japanese prefecture of Okinawa. The governor has told the central government he rejects a revised plan for relocating a U.S. airbase within the prefecture. The Japanese and U.S. governments want to move the Marine Corps Futenma Air Station from a densely populated area to a less crowded place near the coast. They say they'll reclaim land to build the facilities. But leaders in Okinawa want the base moved out of the prefecture altogether. In April last year, the Defense Ministry filed a revised application with the prefecture after parts of the seabed at the site were found too soft to reclaim with the original plan. Okinawa has concluded that the revised plan is not based on a detailed survey of the foundation. It also said environmental measures were not sufficient to mitigate potential harm to marine life.
Lots of people are feeling anxious, angry, and sad about the way the government is unilaterally and forcibly pushing ahead with reclamation without an adequate explanation.
The governor said Okinawa will patiently continue to ask the government to seek a solution through dialogue. The case could be sent back to a court. Defense Minister Kishinobu said his ministry will carefully examine the reasons and grounds for Okinawa's decision before deciding how to respond. The pumice stones wreaking havoc along Japan's Pacific coast appear to have spread overseas. Pumice was found this week on the coast of the Philippines' Bataan Island, which is near Taiwan. Philippine officials believe ocean currents carried them. They're warning the stones can damage the hulls and engines of ships. In August, an undersea volcano erupted about 1,000 kilometers south of Japan's main island. A Japanese researcher says it's likely that the pumice stones found in the Philippines came from the volcano. The researcher released a simulation last month that analyzes the stone's movement. It suggested the pumice would reach the northern Philippines around November 20th.
Many pumice stones are still floating around Okinawa. It is likely they will flow toward the Philippines.
He also says there's a possibility that the stones floating around the Philippines may drift to Japan's Kyushu region in about a month. Many people with disabilities find enormous support in animals. Service dogs, for example, are like skilled essential workers. Not all dogs make it in this difficult role, but as our next story shows, the ones who fail are finding second careers in which they're just as highly valued.
Service dogs make a huge difference to the lives of people with physical disabilities. The dogs only qualify after intensive training. Not only must a service dog learn a wide range of skills, but its individual character is crucial. For example, such dogs need to enjoy helping people and have the discipline to stick with it. Some dogs might suddenly get excited. Others may become distracted by smells. Service dogs must overcome these temptations. Every year, nearly 80% of candidates drop out of training.
There are dogs who don't become service dogs but have a lot of good qualities. We want to help nurture these talents.
Recently, many dogs that have been judged to be unsuitable as service animals are finding new roles. They're called career change dogs. 4 years ago, the Takamatsu family, who lived near Nagoya, central Japan, adopted a career change dog. Noya had left a service training program midway. The daughter, Yumeka, has an intellectual disability and impairments in her legs. She easily trips and falls, which has kept her from going out. However, when she walks with Noya, the dog matches its pace with hers. Since Noya joined the family, they've been able to go out more often. Another change is that Yumeka, who has always relied on her mother, has taken to looking after Noya. This has made her more independent. Her mother says the whole family is feeling the benefits.
The good thing is everyone is less stressed, and our family life is calmer. I think Yumeka is enjoying herself too.
Besides being adopted by ordinary households, dogs like Noya are being placed at facilities like clinics and courthouses to psychologically assist children and others. Career change dogs are finding new settings for their natural qualities to bloom.
A storm system has brought snowy and cold weather into parts of Spain. Our meteorologist Sakamori has a look at the situation in world weather.
Hello there. Although it's still November, people in parts of Spain are already seeing a lot of heavy snow. Take a look at this footage. The ski season has kicked off a little earlier in Spain as heavy snow fell on Wednesday. Parts of Andalusia saw temperatures dropping to minus 12 degrees Celsius. Many people welcomed the cold weather and snow as they could ski. Even though most ski resorts are still closed, Valencia had the first snowfall of the season on Wednesday. As you can see, there's a swirling cloud. This system has a cold air aloft that's bringing in heavy snowfall over the mountainous locations. We will continue to see snow in the higher elevations for the next couple of days. Meanwhile, cold air enough to cause any precipitation to snow over the higher elevations will cover most part of the Iberian Peninsula by the weekend. Even colder air will grip parts of the UK, France, as well as Germany. These are expected highs for the next 4 days. Paris could see only 5 degrees for the daytime high on Saturday. Vienna only 1 with a chance of snowfall on your Friday. Meanwhile, heavy snow is still pounding parts of northern Japan. We've got all-time record heavy snowfall affecting many places of the country. Hokkaido, over 90 centimeters fell in parts of northern Hokkaido. That's the all-time record. Horokanai had 88 centimeters in 48 hours. That's the all-time record as well. Lowland areas are seeing record-breaking heavy rainfall for the month of November. We will continue to see the same setup. That means more snow and rain will pound northern Japan, especially along the northwestern flank of the nation. So be careful of more snow and heavy rainfall. Temperatures are going to be only 5 in Sapporo on Friday. Tokyo could see 17 degrees, but on Monday morning, it could be only 3 degrees. So be careful of a sudden drop in temperature. That's it for me. Have a nice day.